Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the For the Crew podcast. Today, we've got another preseason review featuring a few guests that are fans of some of the upcoming teams that the Columbus Crew will be playing going into this season. Representing Charlotte FC will be that MLS Brit. For the Chicago Fire, we've got Jared. For the Philadelphia Union, we've got JT. And for our Hell's real rivals, FC Cincinnati, we've got Anthony. And just to give you guys a rundown on what's been going on with the crew over the last few days, we've got a nice comprehensive list of everything that's been happening. Starting off, Henrik Rydstrom actually held his welcome event with crew fans, but the primary goal of it was to emphasize standards, intensity, and accountability across the squad, because going into this season we want to be serious, obviously, and he's framed this moment in crew history as more of an evolution instead of a rebuild. Overall, the goal is to maintain the club's identity, but improving and sharpening its execution with a lot of things. There is still a link between Jason Russell Rowe and League On team Toulouse FC, potentially for $2.5 million with some additional add-ons. This could be a smart move for the crew business-wise. We could take that money and reinvest it into the current squad. Next is the potential move for Atlanta United striker Jamal Tiare, with the deal rumored to be sitting around $300 to $400K in general allocation money. And after lengthy visa and travel issues, Seko Bengura has finally arrived in Columbus, and he's now able to fully join team training. And lastly, we've got the potential link to Andre Gomes, but that's pretty much just a rumor. It's about Barcelona, Everton, and Lille. It's a possibility he could be Nagy's replacement. He's got a lot of history, so having that veteran player is always a good thing, but he's also kind of getting up there in the age range, so physicality kind of remains a big question mark. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, man, and be sure to leave a like and sub if you've enjoyed our previous content, and let us know what you think about it by the end of the video. Without further ado, let's get to it.
All right, welcome to the second episode of our Eastern Conference preview. I'm Matt. Today I am with that MLS Brit. We got contacted with him through TikTok, and actually everyone on this episode we got through TikTok. So yeah, how you doing today?
I'm brilliant, thanks. Thank you for
Yeah.
having me on. I don't know how many international guests you've had before, but yeah, it's a pleasure to be here.
I think you're the first. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
Good landmark.
we had been on some Celtic podcasts, but in terms of people being on ours,
okay.
yeah,
That makes sense, yeah.
yeah. So we're doing Charlotte FC. Last season, you guys finished what place in the East? Fourth, you said?
Fourth in the East. Yep,
Fourth.
top four spot.
Which is better than Columbus did. But I guess the first thing I actually wanted to ask was since you're over in the UK, how did you get involved with becoming a fan of MLS and more specifically Charlotte?
Yeah, it's I don't know if it's the most exciting story really, but so I've probably been a fan of kind of sports in America for about 10 years now, and it first started with NBA. I played quite a lot of basketball when I was younger, but obviously when you're not from America, it's kind of like how do you pick a team? I'm sure it's similar with like you guys and maybe the Premier League, but I pretty much went off kit colors, like each NBA franchise's colors, and I was quite young at the time. Quite like the Hornets, kind of like purple, teal, like turquoise, whatever, that color combo. So yeah, and obviously I probably didn't pick the best option, but yeah, so I went with the Hornets, and then a few years later, I started really getting into NFL, and I was like, well, it only makes sense. I might as well stick in the same state. So yeah, so then naturally I kind of followed the Panthers, and then yeah, a few years later, about 2021, obviously, I was already keeping up with MLS, but I didn't really have a team. And then yeah, Charlotte got announced as an expansion team, and I was like, well, it's perfect. Kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
So yeah, it all started from colors really.
That's
But yeah, I don't speak much about like the team I follow. in my
Yeah.
content. But yeah, they are. They're my club, and hopefully I hope to get out there to Charlotte, to North Carolina, one day soon.
Awesome. Awesome. So okay, with Charlotte, they would you say that fourth place was above expectations last season, or do you say that was about what you guys expected?
I think that it was. I mean, playoffs, I think, is a quite a natural expectation now.
Yeah.
I would say that getting top four and getting that home advance, getting to play the two home games in the best of three round one series was a nice benefit, and it's something that you should aim for if you want to get in the playoffs.
Yeah.
I think that so I think our performance in the playoff wasn't necessarily that didn't necessarily meet our expectations, but I think top four was maybe slightly above what people expected. I think some would have been happy with fifth or sixth.
Yeah.
But yeah, that strong run towards the towards the end of the season really
Mhm.
did it. And at one point there was that little talk of being an outsider for
For the
maybe
Shield.
winning the East, but
Yeah.
obviously we didn't keep up that winning run, and ended up in fourth.
All right. Yeah. So, um, I mean, who are the star? The star guys are what? Abada, Zaha.
Yeah, yeah. So obviously we I guess best to start with someone like Toklamati, who
Mhm.
has been given the number 9 jersey now,
Okay.
and he actually scored in we played our first pre-season game against, I think, Charleston Battery
Okay. The USL
last
team.
weekend.
Yeah.
So he got a goal there, and he kind of naturally took over when Ajaman left.
Mhm.
But I think there's huge pressure on him this season to deliver, because he is now, he's going to be that guy up top,
Yeah.
but he's still quite young.
How old is
Um,
he?
I think he's like 20.
Oh wow. Oh wow.
That's a bit
Yeah.
that is a guess. That's a guess. But
Yeah.
he is
He's
like,
young. Yeah.
he's definitely like under. I think he's definitely like under 22.
Wow. That's
Um,
a lot to put on the shoulders of a young guy.
it is really.
Yeah.
But um, so and obviously if he can't deal with it, and if he can't handle the pressure, then I could see our season going south pretty quickly. But
Mhm.
um, yeah, it's good to see him having a good start to the preseason. But yeah, like Zaha. Obviously, we used to have Adilson Malanda at the
Yeah.
back.
I was gonna say both
Um,
Malanda and Edgemon left last year, right?
yeah, Ajamang and the both off to the championship to
Yeah.
England. Um, and to be honest, both of them have been well. Ajamang's really coming along,
Yeah.
but Malanda's had a brilliant start. He obviously got loaned back for 6 months
Mhm.
to finish off the 2025 season, but I mean, Malanda looks like the sort of player that will go on to play in the Premier League. So I think the fact that we had that in Charlotte is pretty special. And the big question really is will we be able to replace him? Because we haven't yet so far. We haven't signed a notable central defender.
Mhm.
And I think it's very much expected that we do at some point, hopefully sooner rather than later, because
Yeah.
you want a player to have a proper pre-season really before before the end of February. But I think that'll be pretty hard to replace.
Okay.
So
Who is the head coach right now over at
Dean
Charlotte?
Smith,
It's Dean Smith. That's right. Um,
yeah.
and he's been there for how long?
So this will be his third season. So
Third
he
season.
was here. He kind of started the whole of 2024, and then he's done the whole of 2025. So
Okay.
yeah.
How do you guys feel with him at the helm?
Um, I think that I'm confident Dean Smith can bring success as a coach.
Mm.
He obviously is quite a high profile manager, really, as a Englishman who's obviously had a lot of success with Aston Villa in England in the Premier League. So I think that he could still definitely be the sort of coach that could bring some sort of silverware, maybe. Even if it's just like the US Open Cup, but each season so far there's been a gradual progression. So 2024 it was fifth in the East. 2025 it was fourth in the East. But what seems to be his issue so far is the postseason. It's when he gets to the playoffs. We just seem to completely collapse. I mean, it's both times we've lost in the first round.
Who did you guys lose to?
So it was Orlando in 2024, and then it was NYCFC.
Oh, that's right.
In 2025. And it's quite funny actually because both of those 3-round series we did win one of the games, but neither of them we won in normal time. They were both 0-0 draws, and
you won on PKs.
They were both penalty wins. So we're actually yet to actually win a off season. We're yet to win in the postseason. In normal time, which is
that would be frustrating. It kind of feels like same thing with like Cincinnati with Pat Noonan, and they do, and maybe they do a little bit better than that, but they still haven't won anything, and they keep looking like favorites, and it just never actually happens. Which, as a Columbus fan, we love that.
I bet. Yeah.
So, in terms of ins and outs, have there been any significant players that have come in or left? Other than I know Malanda left after the season. Yeah.
I think in terms of players coming in, you can boil it down to like 3 individuals. You've got Luca Della Torre, who's obviously a USMNT international. I would say that's a brilliant signing and an upgrade on some of the midfielders that they're still at the club, but an upgrade on the players that were starting before.
Yeah.
I think he should really pull the team together from midfield. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how he gets, because obviously he's being brought in to be like one of the kind of main guys.
Yeah, he was at San Diego last year, right?
Yeah. And then previously was playing a bit in Europe. I think he was at Fulham at one point with Tim Ream. So he's probably had some sort of conversation with Tim Ream. Because and then we had brought in David Schnegg as well from DC.
Okay.
So he was, I guess, he started almost every game for DC last season, kind of at left back. So obviously, probably not the best reputation being one of the starters in a wooden spoon winning defense.
Yeah, we talked to a DC fan actually last week, and and he was just, it was like, this is not a great club right now. And so
maybe he was happy to get out of there.
Yeah, probably.
But I think that so that was quite a cheap deal. He was waived by DC, but I guess he's got that MLS experience now.
Yeah.
Like he's proven that he can play like over 2,000 minutes in a season. And he definitely provides really good competition, because we've only just signed Harry Toffolo at left back. That was in the summer just gone. So we've now got the kind of 2 players to fight for that position. I don't know if either will be happy being benched, but I assume we'll start with Toffolo and then see how that goes. But if one of them gets injured, then there's not really a worry about like we've just got perfect backup there. So it's another good signing. And then finally, I guess, obviously this isn't a new incoming, but we've made Pep Biel a permanent player
Good
I
move.
think we've given him a DP contract.
Yeah.
Where he was on loan before, and that's quite an interesting one, really, because he hasn't really played a lot of minutes since July.
Okay.
Yeah, he had a big injury and only really started coming back towards the end of the season, and even then it wasn't like he was starting. But he was obviously on fire. He really hit the ground running
Mhm.
in 2025. I think it was like he was double digits for goals and assists in MLS by July,
Yeah.
which is it's the sort of numbers you would have expected Zaha to put up, and I
Mhm.
don't even think he could match them by the end of the season. So yeah, obviously there is now a bit of a pressure that BL comes back and performs now that he's a DP, because obviously you've got such limited, you've only got like 3 DPs, 2 DPs, so
Yeah.
you've got to make sure that they hit.
Yeah. We know that all too well. We've with Daniel Gazdag, he's not been the best for us in the past year.
Mm-hmm.
Um.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, is there anyone other than Malanda that's been like a good piece that's left?
I would say that Malander's the only. Yeah, no, I think Malander's the only. I would say fixed in starter that we had. You had someone like we had Drake Callender leave,
Oh, yeah.
which was
Yeah.
one of the
That whole thing is weird.
is one of the weirdest. I don't think
Yeah.
he ever played for the
Yeah.
club.
You guys signed him like mid-season, right? And then he never
Yeah,
played.
yeah, we signed him
Yeah.
mid-season from Miami, and
Yeah.
yeah, well, it wasn't like he was ever really gonna. I mean, maybe he was brought in for competition, but obviously with Kalina in goal,
Mhm.
he Callender probably deserves to start in the league. So I think now that he's gone to Minnesota
Minnesota. Yeah.
to replace Dane St. Clair, yeah, hopefully he'll get more minutes there, because that was a bit weird. But then we also just had players like Eric Williamson, Nick Scardina, and Bill Tualoma. So those sort of players who were kind of they weren't really up to scratch or getting proper minutes.
Mhm.
So I think just having them out the door, freeing up a few more spaces in the roster is a good move. So I think Malander's going to be the only player we really miss.
Yeah.
But then there's it's not confirmed whether Zaha will be here after June, so that is an upcoming issue that we could run into, because his loan expires in June, I guess, kind of just before the World Cup. So yeah,
Mhm.
that's quite an interesting question. Like, what will happen with Zaha?
Okay. It, one of the names you said was Eric Williamson.
Yeah,
What was your kind of view on him? Because he seems like he's been a guy who had a lot of potential in his career and had a lot of injuries. And
yeah,
was that the same for his time in Charlotte?
yeah. I think obviously you're bringing someone. I can't remember what the injuries was. It a couple of like serious maybe ACLs or something.
I think that's what it was. Yeah.
Um, yeah. So when you're bringing, I mean, obviously career injuries are one of the more kind of sad parts of the game, because they
Mhm.
really can ruin a career. Um, but I think, yeah, when you bring someone in with that track record, then yeah, there's always a risk that it doesn't work out. And obviously, yeah, I think he hasn't even ended up. I think he's without a club right now.
Yeah.
Like he's not even gone elsewhere. So um, it's a shame, but I guess yeah, you've got to do what you've got to do.
Yeah.
And obviously, yeah, as soon as someone like De La Torre came in, it's just like
That's an upgrade. Yeah.
another person ahead of him.
Yep.
So yeah, that's what I'd say on that.
Okay. Give me two players. Give me one player you think is going under the radar in terms of like being known in MLS, and then one player you think will have a breakout year this year, and they might be the same player.
So you mean like one player that kind of
Well, that you think is should be talked about more in the league based off his play versus, and then someone else who you think might be someone who ends up getting to that point where he's a more well-known player within MLS.
In terms of like breakout, who could have a breakout season? I mean, I think that obviously with Tolklamati,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I assume like most people were aware of this guy. You know, he was scoring, playing for pretty much most of the season, or the
Yeah.
second half of the season. But obviously, he's not like a name. Like it's not like it's not like he's got loads of European clubs hunting after him, or like I think that he's the sort of player that could really he's got the chance to upgrade his game now.
Yeah.
Now that he's like, you know, they've kind of doubled down on him, like they've gone all in on him as like as the forward. So I think that's yeah. Obviously, he's already like a notable name, but there's a chance that he becomes like, I don't know, like there's a chance that he scores 20 goals this season,
Yeah.
and it's like, wow, like this is a really this is one of the best forwards in the league.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not sure whether that will happen. But there's a big possibility that happens from what he's shown so far. I would say in terms of like unsung heroes,
Yeah.
someone like I mean, you've got someone like Nathan Byrne,
Okay.
our right back. It
Mm-hmm.
kind of like and he's been our right back for a while now, and like really nailed down the spot when he's not been when he's been fit to play. So yeah, I would say him. He's obviously he's another Englishman.
Yeah.
We've got quite a few connections. I think with having an English coach, we've got quite a lot of ex EFL players, like Ashley Westwood as well.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, someone that kind of I mean, I think as a fullback, it's really easy to be like an underrated player because they kind of just they do their job and often can get overlooked because
Yeah.
they're not a
I
forward
mean,
or they're not.
even with like MLS's best 11, it's so rare to see outside backs make the best
Yeah,
11.
yeah.
And yeah, so I that makes perfect sense.
It's a funny position because yeah, once you get like a really good fullback, you know, it's brilliant. But
Yeah.
there, you know, it's not like there's a huge market for them, or
Mm-hmm.
there's not a huge market. Like if you think about MLS, like yeah, how many like really good right backs or left backs do you have that aren't like that are good, maybe good at going forward but good at defending? Because you get a few really good like wing backs.
Yeah, we got
But
Arvston, who going forward is
yeah,
great, kind of iffy defensively. Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, so yeah,
Yeah.
we're quite names like that. So yeah, Nathan Byrne. It'd be interesting to see how Karen Vargas does this season as well, because I mean, if he's still at the club,
Mm-hmm.
because he's been another guy that's I think he's been around for quite a few seasons now, at least 3, and he's kind of he's chipped in with goals and assists each year, but obviously he's not like a big name.
Yeah.
But I think in terms of like a squad depth sort of thing, like I don't think I'd necessarily want him as a starter, but it turns out that might be the case. But um, yeah, he's just another kind of guy in the squad who's there when called upon.
Very cool. Okay, so I got 2 more questions for you before we wrap up here. Um, First, where are you expecting the finish for Charlotte to be in the regular season? What is your what? Or I guess, or here I'll give you this. What in are you expect? What do you want like in realistically, and what would be like a failure for the
I
club?
think a disaster. It would be a disaster if we didn't get playoffs.
Okay, so you're you think they are good enough to be expecting to make the playoffs?
I think that the squad on a whole hasn't changed too much. Like we've still got that same, like a very similar starting 11.
Hmm.
It's just whether it's the depth more that's a bit of a worry,
Yeah.
and how a lot of other teams in the East have probably improved a lot more than us. Um, so yeah, I think that would be pretty safe to say. if we didn't get play. I think everyone would be disappointed if we didn't get playoffs. So that would be a failure. But then realistically, I don't think we've I don't think we've improved enough to finish higher than we did last season.
Okay.
So I wouldn't be surprised if we ended up maybe in 6th.
Okay.
Maybe somewhere like 6th in the East. However, I don't think that necessarily matters. I think what matters is if we do qualify for the playoffs,
Actually win a
we
game.
get past the first round. Like,
Yeah.
and obviously whether we finish 4th or whether we finish 6th, we're still going to be in that first round. And both our home games in the best of 3 series we lost. So so even if we don't have the home advantage and we end up in 6th, like I think that would be I think a proper playoff run would be nice. Would be nice. I'm not expecting the MLS Cup or Supporters Shield necessarily. I don't think that would be fair to expect that. It would be a nice surprise, but I don't think it's fair to expect that. So yeah, 6th. Yeah.
All right. This has nothing to do with Charlotte. Who's your favorite crew player? I want to hear Charlotte fans' favorite crew player.
I think the player that because I do quite a bit of like writing for MLS, and obviously like video content, and I think the player that first comes to mind is Max Afton. I think that he's a player I could see him. I know he's been linked with a move to I think was he ever linked with a move to England? I feel like he might have been.
Linked with Toulouse in France and Middlesbrough in England.
Yeah, that was the one I was thinking of, Middlesbrough.
Yeah.
And obviously when anyone is linked with a move here, that instantly like flags up for me, like, because obviously he'll be coming over here.
Yeah.
But so Max Afton, I would say. Obviously I loved Darlington Nagbe.
He was.
I think that
he's gonna be a huge loss for us. It's.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I might have said him because I was a big fan. Super underrated. I think just
I would
in
say
general.
he's getting a lot of flack on TikTok from people.
Yeah.
It's
Um
very unwarranted, but whatever.
yeah. I guess he's one of those names where I don't necessarily think an awful lot of people kind of in necessarily in England would know him. But he's the sort of player that you should know, and he's the big question mark. What
How
would have
good
happened
could he
if
have been in Europe? Yeah.
Yeah, and without Nancy and Nagbe, I'm not sure how it will go in Columbus this year, but
I'm optimistic with the new coach, but we'll see.
yeah.
All right, well, that's all I've got for this episode. If people want to find more of your content, where would they find you? What's your handles? All that kind of stuff.
So right now it's on TikTok, and it's just that MLS Brit. So it's pretty simple, pretty straightforward. But I'm thinking of gradually moving over into other like Instagram, YouTube as well.
Okay.
This season, but for now, just TikTok.
Awesome. Well, thank you for coming on. I'm sure we'll collaborate with you more in the future.
No, it's been a pleasure.
Yeah. Well, until next time, I think we'll have another whatever the next Eastern Conference team up next.
How's it going for the crew podcast? Gabe here now to continue our Eastern Conference previews. Today we got JaredFireFC. If anyone remembers earlier in the season, I went on his show, Spitting Fire. Jared, how you doing today?
I'm doing great, Gabe. How are you?
Doing good. To give our fans a little bit of a talk on Chicago, last season they finished 8th place, 1 point below us, and also just like us, got knocked out in the first round of playoffs. They lost their series to Philadelphia Union. Um, and from there, they're about in the same, bit of a different spot from where we are in the offseason, where they did not switch coaching staff. So they're kind of just building on this project that they started with last year. So let's just hop right into some of the questions that we have for you today, Jared.
Sure.
Um, Starting off here, after finally breaking the playoff drought last season, how does this offseason feel for Fire fans?
I think going into this next season, I think we have a very high ceiling and a very high expectation.
Mhm.
We have about 8 new signings, and if you watch the Fire last year, we gave up a lot of goals, and by a lot, I mean a lot of goals.
Yeah.
We probably went from the one of the worst center back rooms to probably the best looking center back rooms in the league. With a big signing coming from South Africa, his name's Mbokazi. He has a lot of hype behind him, which I'm sure we'll get to a couple questions about him later on. But
Mhm.
um, we are very strong in the depth category of things.
Yeah. And would you say that overall with Chicago fans, the mood is a lot more exciting in this offseason going into a second season after finally making playoffs? Would you say
For
that the
sure.
fan base is, yeah,
Yeah,
just a
for
lot
sure.
more
We are
enjoyable?
super, super excited.
Gotcha. One thing I'd like to ask is for a team like Chicago, in the recent years without making playoffs, how would you say the mood has been? Have you think there's been more of a push for getting a team with an identity like you guys have now, or was it more of a quiet fan base when the results were not as great as they were?
I think we're always going to be behind Fire no matter what, whether
Mhm.
we have a 1 win season or a 20 game win season. Uh, and you definitely felt a mood shift with signing Berhalter in the actually towards the end of the 24 season.
Mhm.
Um, and I think everyone and their mom knows how good of a coach Berhalter is and how good of
Oh yeah.
a scouting person he is.
Especially
Uh,
as like for Columbus Crew fans, I think a lot of us know especially how he can perform on the club level.
Absolutely, yeah.
All right. And then with that, one of the bigger moves that the club has is buying out Kellen Acosta. How do you think the Fire fans have reacted so far to that?
I think we're all fine with that. I'm gonna go back to the depth position. I
Mhm.
don't think he'd get any game time with his. I don't I don't I don't want to say skill level, but with his like age and where he's at in his career,
Mhm.
um, we have much more young stars and up and coming stars and people that we got from overseas.
Mhm.
But I'm fine with it. Yeah, it sucks to see a former United States men's national team guy uh, leave your club,
Mhm.
but I really don't think he would fit anywhere in Berhalter's starting 11 or bench.
Yeah. All right. And then do you feel that the fans are confident in the club that they're using the MLS roster mechanisms in the correct way? Such as if you can correct me on it, I don't know which one Fire's using of the three DP slots or the two DP slots with the four international. Well, not international, the U21s.
Yeah, so I came prepared. You can edit this one out. I'll send you guys our updated roster. It breaks it down.
Okay.
I came prepared with a roster tracker. It is from Minera 97, which is our insider info. We
Mhm.
get as of right now, we got two DPs, four U22s,
Mhm.
and five international. Uh,
It's good business right there, filling up all of those.
yeah, I'm sure with a lot of your fans and my fans, no one gets the roster rules. It'll take decades to explain it,
Yeah.
but I'm that's my info I got, and I'm roster rules is not for me. That
Yeah.
ain't me.
Yeah, for anyone that is listening, the important thing in MLS is that you're filling out your DP slots and you're filling out your U22 initiative slots.
Mhm.
If you're filling those out, you're doing something right as a club.
Yep.
Um, I'm not really sure if crew has our initiative slots filled out. I know we got the DPs right now, but I'd have to look into who we're using the money on there for them. But that's talk for another episode. To continue the questions then, you were talking about some of the younger pieces that you've been adding to the team. Like, I'm probably going to butcher some of these names.
Dude, I am
Uh,
too. Don't worry about it.
Mbokazi and Dithajane.
Yeah, so Mbokazi, he is along with Ditejane. He
Dithajane,
comes
okay.
from South Africa.
Mhm,
Mbokazi, like I said again, he is coming from the South African national team. He
mhm.
is probably the top aspect in all of Southern Africa. Ditejane, he is also kind of like a uh, low key prospect. Not many people know about. He's very good on the ball, very good one on one. He can play right wing, cam, left wing. So he is a very good utility player. Um, we also have Leonardo Barroso, who's on the U22 initiative.
Mhm.
He's a right back. Um, kind of up and down games. I can't recall who was against, but he did get exposed one game last season, which I mean, we all have bad games, but
Yeah.
and then to round out the last U22, it is Jay Davila, which in my opinion is probably the best center defensive mid, if not one of the best center defensive mids in MLS. He's very
Okay.
good at winning the ball back, uh, and I do expect him to be on a World Cup roster. Probably not this World Cup, but next World Cup.
You thinking next World Cup? All right. I like that. I like that as a international fan. Um, and then right now, who is the player that Fire fans think could really break out or surprise people this season?
I'm not going to say Mbokazi just because I've said his name 6 times already. Um, of who I think is going to break out. Sorry, I'm looking at my roster. Hold on.
No, go right on ahead.
I am going to have to say he didn't fulfill everyone's expectations last year. He came from La Liga. I'm going to say Jonathan Bamba.
Mm-hmm.
We all know how dangerous he could be on the ball and even off the ball, making his runs behind the defense.
Yeah.
My excuse I said all last season is that he didn't have a true off season. He came straight from La Liga around actually this time last year,
Yeah.
uh, and he probably played for a year and a half straight of soccer, running up and down the field.
Yeah.
Um, Now he has full off season. Uh, he works well with Berhalter. He works well with Zinkernagel. He works well with Kuipers. And with our essentially a new midfield, uh, I think all of us are very excited for a true, healthy, rested Jonathan Bamba.
Yeah. I remember when we did our first episode around this time last year when we were about to play you guys, I think in February.
Hmm.
Our whole thing was on Jonathan Bamba of how
Yep.
scary he could be. And then after that game, we were a little underwhelmed by him.
Hmm.
But yeah, if he does what you're thinking this year and has that breakout, then he could destroy this league.
Yeah, I
Um,
also think part of it wasn't just no off season for him. Also adapting to MLS because I feel like I could be wrong. MLS could be a little bit more faster paced than La Liga. Granted,
yeah,
I only watch Real Madrid in La Liga and hate watch Barca, as you can see the sign up there. But you can see that there's definite breaks in overseas soccer where MLS it feels like it's constant go 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 go.
yeah. I think yeah, a lot of MLS fans would agree with you there, and definitely it's a lot more tactical in La Liga. I feel too.
Hmm.
They're expected to follow a system a bit more, and now he's kind of getting some freedom in MLS. So once he finds that time and is able to get the chemistry with the players around him, like you said, Kuipers and Zinkernagel, he's probably going to excel in the league.
Hmm.
I would probably add him to my fantasy if I'm looking out for some
Yeah.
players.
Yep.
All right, moving on to the next question. Um, at this point, do you feel that Fire fans see that the team has a clear identity on the field?
Absolutely. I think we have
Mhm.
a very clear, true, proven identity. Uh, every opponent we faced last year, I think, kind of saw that, and I think around the league, everyone knows what Berhalter is capable of, especially with Berhalter switching from a four-back to a five-back, three-back, whatever you want to call it, with wing-backs. Um, I think uh, the second half, or I think the games moving forward from that three-back, five-back really opened everyone's eyes of what Berhalter is capable of and making tactical adjustments in the season.
Yeah. And would you say that there is full trust then from the fans into the coaching staff and the long-term project under Berhalter?
He has all my trust, all
That's
of
what we
it.
love to hear. I am a big Berhalter fan, so I
I
really
love
do want him to
Berhalter.
succeed. He is, yeah. He is like the coach that probably brought me to Crew when I was younger, getting into them for the first time. He was the first like coach I knew by name, and yeah, I fell in love with him.
Triple G.
Um, Triple G. With Chicago back in the mix for things such as Leagues Cup, does that make it more exciting or a little bit of added pressure getting into some more tournaments and more games?
It definitely makes it more exciting. Leagues Cup is the one where we play like Detroit and whatever, right? It's like all the like UC or not US.
No, Leagues Cup, that's US Open Cup. Leagues Cup is the one with the Mexican teams.
Gotcha. Sorry, I restart. My bad.
Yep. Restart.
I get them confused.
You're
Um,
good.
yeah, I don't think we're in Leagues Cup this year, are we?
I
I
think
don't recall seeing.
it's on our question. Let me double check that. Matt, if you can unmute and help if you know.
Man, help!
Yes, the Chicago Fire will compete in the 2026 Leagues Cup. So, yeah, is this it? I think I found it. Or is this, wait, no. Google AI might be getting me wrong. Sorry. 2026 Leagues Cup. Latest. Okay, I know Crew announced that they were going to be in it, but I cannot find any of the other teams
I don't
participating.
remember the Fire being in.
All right. I'll talk to Matt after the episode. We'll just. They are. Okay. I cannot find that info anywhere online right now. Okay, here we go. Yep. Leagues Cup 2026 set to be played August 4th, September 6th. Chicago Fire will be participating of one of the 18 MLS clubs. So,
Okay.
restarting that then.
Yeah,
With
good.
Chicago back in the mix for things such as Leagues Cup, I think you guys took a break in the last year. Does this make it more exciting to have another tournament where you have a chance for silverware, or does it add a little bit of pressure getting some more games on the schedule?
I'm definitely more excited because I would like to see how the Fire rank against Liga MX teams and Mexican teams. Um, I think any team in Leagues Cup should be excited just to play, a Mexican team and see how they compete against them. That's why I like actually the MLS All Star game,
Mhm.
where MLS, I mean, beat Liga MX All Stars last year. But yeah, it definitely does bring a little bit of pressure, obviously, with more games added onto a schedule.
Yeah.
Again, which I'll bring it up again, our depth is really going to help, um, not just Leagues Cup, but also the U.S. Open Cup.
Yeah. And with that, then building off of that, do you think Fire fans want to prioritize the league play, or do you think that they want to also get some appetite for the other competitions as well? Do you want to give 100% in them, or focus on maybe trying to get a top four placement in the league?
Hmm. Um, I'm gonna speak for myself here. I don't want to put any words in other people's mouths of other Fire fans, but I would just be happy to get any kind of silverware and or rank higher in the league.
Mhm.
And I mean, we all know how I guess poor the Fire have been the past few years, not counting last year. Um, I think the majority of Fire fans are just happy to be this excited and actually compete in playoffs.
Mhm. And then with that, do you find that this year you might see Chicago being able to be more built to beat some of the higher up teams, such as a Philadelphia Union or an Inter Miami? Do you think you could see you guys walking away with good results against those teams?
Yeah. So I mean, we did it last year. We did beat Inter Miami, I believe, 5-2 last year.
Yes, that game was a thriller for any neutral fan.
Absolutely gonza. Let me- my Spanish is lacking right now.
You're
Please
good.
cut that part out. Yeah, an absolute stunner of a goal last year against Inter Miami from Gutierrez.
Yeah.
He's probably like 30 yards out, maybe even more. But we hung in there with Philadelphia round one last year. Went to Pens.
Yeah.
Um,
That round one game was
unfortunately,
fantastic. I remember watching that.
yeah.
I really thought Chicago had a chance there.
MLS should definitely bring aggregate, but round two against them had an unfortunate injury to Chris Brady,
Mm.
starting keeper, and Jeff Gall, our actually third string, then had to start, and disaster class, as I'll say. But definitely more excited to compete against the higher up teams. I have my absolute ceiling of finishing at number 2. I don't think anyone's going to touch Inter Miami this season.
Mhm.
I don't know how they keep signing all these guys, to be honest.
Yeah.
Um, but absolute ceiling is number 2 in the East, and definitely a playoff spot. But
Great.
our sweet spot is gonna be, I believe, number 4.
Sweet spot number 4, and then worst case scenario, you're still saying would be a playoff spot, so probably number 9 or number 8 again, if worst case
If
scenario.
we get 8 or 9, I will say this season is probably a fail.
Yeah.
It's a complete failure of a mistake, but
Yeah.
very floor of for our season, I would say 7.
7. All right. So you guys definitely want some growth up on the table then, which is yeah, completely expected.
Yeah.
All right. I got 2 more questions then for you.
Shoot.
When do the Fire play Columbus? What should crew fans be paying attention to? What should we be watching out for? What should we be looking for?
You should probably be looking out for, just like last year, Jonathan Bamba.
Mhm.
Like I said earlier in the episode, he's fully rested, fully healthy. Um, I'm just gonna sum it up as our attack. Um, we signed his name. I'm gonna butcher this name. Celestros. He is a center mid, center attacking mid. Um,
Mhm.
very good on the ball. His set pieces are insane. So do not foul within 30 yards. Uh, and also, I mean, you guys have to bring your attack. I mean, we have an entirely strengthened center back room. You'll most likely see Jack Elliott because I think we play you your home opener, our third game of the
Yes,
season. Um,
our
so
third
you'll
game as
probably,
well, I think, yeah.
yeah, which I'll be there. um, I believe our backline will be. I mean, depends what formation Berhalter wants to run, whether he wants to do his
Mhm.
5 back or 4 back. Uh, that'll be on a game to game basis, I assume. But you'll see most likely Gutman, Elliott, Mbokazi, and Barroso. Um,
Yeah.
and I think we gave up 60 goals last season. I expect that number to be probably cut in half. So
In half. Okay.
br- bring your attack. At most, I'll say 42 goals they will give up. But
42.
um,
Yeah,
I mean,
hopefully we don't start off the season again with crew. I think we scored 4 on you guys in the opener last
yeah,
season.
I think it was like 42 or something like that.
4-2, yeah.
Yeah.
So hopefully for you that doesn't happen. For us, I would love to see that. Um, for a little insight on us and our new coach, we should be playing a very heavy attacking game, especially on the left side of the field. So
Hmm.
bring your left side defense,
Yep.
and we
And
will be putting a
Bokazi's
lot of
over there.
pressure. Yep.
And
So
Bokazi will be there.
that'll be interesting then, going up against a new player in the league. All right, and then let's wrap up with the final question. You've kind of answered it a few times throughout the episode, But realistically, where do you see the Fire ending in the Eastern Conference? And who would you say would get above them?
I think Inter Miami's number one. I think
Mhm.
that is
It's
pretty
hard
much
hard
the
to beat a
agreement in
team.
the league.
Yeah.
Um, Philadelphia has really fallen off in this offseason, in my opinion.
Mhm.
Um,
They have done
I
a
think
lot
they,
of business out, so it would be
yeah,
interesting
I
to see
think
how
they
they do.
sold pretty much everybody. Um, I
But
don't
then
see
again, last
Atlanta.
season they did scam us by selling their top goal scorer Gosdog and then got supporter shield. So you never know what Philadelphia's cooking. They are a complete mystery of a team, starting off every single season.
Yeah, yeah, that I'll have to agree on. But I mean, really, the only competitors in my eyes that I see competing for, say, the top five in the East, um, I could see Charlotte being a low key contender.
Hmm.
Um, I think they still have Zaha. Maybe not. Could be
Yes, I think
wrong.
so. I haven't seen anything about
Um,
him leaving.
Fire obviously. Um, Cincinnati will be up there. Inter Miami will be up there, and
I
I
don't like you saying
believe.
Cincinnati. I'm hoping you say they'll fall below us, if anything.
uh, and I believe Nashville will be also be up there again.
Okay.
Even though they did sell what's his face? Striker? Or no? Was that just rumors?
Um, Schaffelberg, I think, and did they ever get rid of him?
Sam Surridge. Is he still there?
Oh, Surge, yeah. I think Schaffelberg's leaving too.
Rumors. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
And Schaffelberg is signed with LAFC, so he's gone too.
Okay.
I was interested in that, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so I mean the top 5 or 6 is definitely in no order. Charlotte, Chicago. I may even put the Crew up there. I'm optimistic for you guys, but um
Yeah,
in
it
Miami,
is a
Nashville,
transition season, so we would be happy with the top six most likely.
been there, done that. So
Yep.
yeah. But yeah, like I said earlier, our ceiling, I'm gonna say to floor 7. Sweet
All
spot
right.
of what I'm gonna go with, number 4 in the
All
East.
right. Thank you very much, Jared, for joining us today. Shout
Thank
out
you.
to JaredFireFC. If you want to throw some of your socials out, go on ahead.
Yeah, it's just at JaredFireFC. I'm pretty much on everything. X, TikTok. TikTok's my main one. X, Instagram. I think I'm on Blue Sky also. So I don't know if anyone uses Blue Sky or not, but I'm there. You name it, I'm most likely there. So at JaredFireFC.
All right. And Columbus will play Chicago Fire March 7th, Christmas Day. And then we will
Cruise.
play them away. Yep, Christmas. And then we will play them away in Chicago November 9th at the end of the season. So this is a huge break between the teams. Maybe we'll see a very different side when we play them away. But thank you for joining us, Jared. And for us, go Crew.
Vamos Fire. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
All right, welcome back to For the Crude podcast. We are continuing our Eastern Conference preview series we've been doing. This time around, I'm with a special guest from a special team, Philadelphia Union. Would you like to introduce yourself to everyone?
My name is JT Turner. I do Scoop on the Doop on Instagram. Go ahead and follow that if you like. I do all kinds of content from skits to just my general opinions.
Yeah. So, I'm pretty much gonna get like right into you know, what we're here to talk about, which is the team you support, obviously Philadelphia. Um, so how long have you been supporting the team and doing content, sort of centering the team and things like that?
I'm following the team since 2021. Again, heartbreaking year going all the way to the MLS final, but just hooked at that point. About a year, actually, a year and a half ago, started doing content because I remember talking to my girlfriend saying, I feel like I could do something that like people would actually watch. There's not like a face to this. And then she's like, "Do it. What's the worst that's gonna happen?" And put my first video up and just kept going from there. And now I'm up to 300, and I'm so happy to keep doing it as well.
Yeah. Honestly, like even us guys, it's like that element of like wanting to do something fun, wanting to be like connected with the community. That's kind of what like drove us in the same way to do this kind of stuff. So that's cool to hear. It's cool to hear.
Absolutely.
Do you actually like live in Philly currently?
So no, I'm in the great state of Delaware.
Ah,
So I'm
interesting.
actually a little bit below. Delaware doesn't have any major sports teams or even clubs. I mean, closest thing we have is DC, which ew, no, we're not gonna touch that. But um, Annapolis is there. I think they play in the UCL, but I've been a Philly fan since I could remember, so it was just might as well just stick with Philly.
Okay. Do you have like any other ties to the city other than like loving the club? Because I know you said like you sort of had a friend get you into it, right? So
Yeah, I had a coworker that pretty much I remember going. I was like, I need something new to do. I was kind of bored with all four sports, and I played FIFA. I really wasn't deep into it, so I wanted to pretty much get into the club. I wanted to feel what it's like to be in that crowd and go crazy.
yeah,
So I just remember telling a coworker, and they just immediately were just cheering as loud as they can in the workplace, going like, "You have to go." So went. It was against Cincinnati, 0-0. We were going through a pretty much like a tie drought. It was just tie after tie after tie. But at the end of the season, and it counted all the way to the MLS Cup.
it's cool. It's cool to see like your passion for like the club and everything like that. So honestly, following that, so like you guys had a really good run last season. Obviously supporter shield, which is what, I'll ask you that actually. Like, how do you feel about just specifically like the title of supporter shield? Is that something that you feel is a big achievement given not actually going on to win the MLS Cup? Like, does that still matter to you at a high level?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. A trophy counts. It does for me, a trophy's a trophy. Because
Yeah.
here's the thing, we won it this year, but when Miami won it, everybody was about it.
Hmm.
Everybody was like, "Oh, it's a trophy. Messi did it, did it." But once it was a small team like this that doesn't spend a lot of money or go and look for the big players like that, then it's like, oh well, it's just kind of like a you would have won if you were in Europe, kind of.
I know what
But
you're saying. I know what you're saying.
but
And
at
there's
the end of the
there's
trophy.
yeah. And I have like a little different view, like where so I follow European teams too, and I watch a lot of European soccer. So for me, like supporter shield, it's like a cool thing, but for me, I'm like I want to win the actual league, and um since our league obviously our structure is different from Europe, sometimes it feels like a bittersweet thing, which is kind of why I was asking you about that. Like I personally, when I'm in my bracket, I had you guys going all the way to the the finals actually.
Oh, I mean, I always think
Yeah,
we're gonna
yeah,
go to the finals. So
yeah, yeah. So in light of how coming off the back of last year, you guys had a really great regular season and a pretty good postseason also. Like the direction of the team with like signings, losing players, things like that. How are you, during this preseason time feeling about like where your team is versus last season?
um, right now, I'm feeling a lot better. When we first started at the end of the season, it was full panic mode from Ty Baribo leaving to go to DC United, from Kai Wagner going to Birmingham City, to Ua going over back into Europe. Key players that we've had for a while now, and that have we've just grown to, especially Kai. We trusting Kai so much with that cross, going into the center for us, but. Um, he had the dream of going to Europe. He did it, and we made it possible for him. But also now looking at it, we have new signings coming in. We have a new striker, Ezekiel, that came in. He's 25. Sorry, 20 years old. Way off. 20 years old. He's strong. He has a great view of the field. Same thing. With I think his name's Jafat or Jaffe. He's one of the center backs that we just signed. He's 25. I think he's going to be a great addition since Glesnes has left. But we have people coming in that are younger.
Okay. So would you describe this phase that your team is in as like a more like just a transition into something else, or do you view it more as like a rebuild type of season that's coming up for you guys?
I would say more of a rebuild kind of season because you're getting rid of key players. Kai, Glesnes, Ty. Again, big players are gone, and now you have these young players coming in that are trying to prove themselves. Also, we have people like Quinn. We have people like Alejandro that's still going to be in the back for us. That's kind of like the know-it-all guy for us. We have Ben Bender, Jovan. He's a guy that I love to see come out and play in the midfield as well. Indiana Vazilev. I love his game. I love the way he plays. We have players that are coming in that are going to make a difference. It's just we have to wait and see.
Yeah. So, your initial reaction to like a lot of your bigger stars like Burrito leaving and stuff, what was that like for you in that? Like when you're seeing this information come in from your team?
Panic and what in the world are you doing? And immediately I was like, oh, these sketches are going to be great. They're going to be great. But yeah, full panic of just what is going on. These star players are what we need. But then looking into it, we're getting a lot of money from these transfers. I mean, Ty Baribo went for 4.6 mil. Glesnes went for 2.2. Wagner went to 2.5. Sadly, Ua was a free agent at this time, but we're still bringing in money to bring in more players. Maybe not the star players we're looking for, but players that have a future in this club that could build off of it.
Okay. And how are you feeling about those new signings that you named? Like, do you have a confident feeling about the ones that have been signed?
Yeah, with the ones that have been signed, same thing. I looked at Ezekiel as much as I can with the YouTube what I can look at, but everything I can find, he can see crosses around the field that are crazy. He needs to work on his touch a little bit, but he is strong, as I can
Mhm.
see. He can keep people off that ball. Same thing with Jaffe. He's aggressive. He wants to die for that ball. And same thing with Vision. We also have people coming from Union too. Stas Korzanowski was a player at UPenn. He's 22 years old. He's kind of starting to build that as a striker as well because he can finish power and pace with everything he has there.
I gotcha. I gotcha. So, with the direction the team has taken with like the transfers, the new signings, things like that, what is your like sense of the fan base's confidence in your front office at this time? Like does the fan base as a whole, like how are they feeling, do you think?
I don't know if I would be the best person to ask for that because I'm not around like that area.
Hmm.
But if you had to personally ask me, I have confidence because last year I had us just making the playoffs in eighth or ninth place. I had
Okay.
us nowhere close near the first place, even winning the supporter shield. So, and bringing in a new coach with, new coach, Bradley.
Mhm.
Um, he also needs to make sure this is not just a one-time thing, and I think he can do that because when we've seen meetings with him with the owner, pretty much saying we need someone that's going to be here for a long time, just like Curtin was.
Okay, okay. Did you know much about the coach before him?
Jim Curtin.
Hmm.
I knew a little bit about him. I like Jim Curtin, but I can sense that there was a little bit of tension between the owner and Jim Curtin and Ernst Tanner with the sporting director because Ernst is trying to build a young team, stuff like that. He doesn't want those superstar players. He wants the ones he can build off of and sell. He's said it before that this is a club that's pretty much just going to build players and sell them.
Okay. So yeah, I was gonna ask because my follow-up question to that was gonna be, a lot of the times we see like teams, they get kind of that like new head coach boost, the first season with the coach. Typically you see like a sort of boost in their form compared to the last season at least. Um so based off of your knowledge of Curtin and the coach that you have now, it's like I guess my question is like, do you feel like you're like this is the right man for the job? The club went the right direction and I could see him like taking us further.
I can definitely see that because the difference between him and Jim Curtin is Jim, when he put out a lineup, his starting 11, you kind of knew who it was. You kind of knew who was going to be on the field at all times. With Bradley, you have no idea. You could have like Alejandro could be starting, Kevin Sullivan could be starting. It's pretty much up to him of who you think's going to be. And I think that's a good thing for this club. It's to pretty much say, "Hey, you can fight for your spot." It's not saying like, "Oh, this person has it on lock." No, you're going to
Yeah.
fight for the spot.
Right. Okay. So what about your how do I phrase this? Like, so we talked a little bit like about the positives of the roster. What are kind of like the unanswered sort of questions you have about, Philly's roster going into this upcoming season, or like maybe some sort of doubts about it?
Not really doubts, more of just players wise, like Quinn Sullivan. I'm pretty sure he tore his ACL in
Hmm.
one of the games, so he is pretty much one of those players that we're watching. That's like, okay, is this going to be something that's going to pretty much tell him that's not going to be able to play very long or anything like that, or is he going to come back stronger than ever? Because he's young, he's not in his prime yet. So I'm interested to see what that's going to happen with.
Yeah, I've always had a good like respect for Philly, even when Curtin was coach, and sort of just like the model and the trust in like some of the younger players like Quinn and stuff like that. And so it's always interesting to me, like personally, to see like what you guys are kind of like doing like with the upcoming season. It's cool to hear that you're saying they're like trying to keep incorporating some of the younger talent and things like that. So what about how about like, Champions Cup, things like that? Is that like an important do you see that from the club's perspective as like an important part of the upcoming season?
Absolutely. I mean, everybody wants to win Champions Cup and then go on to the FIFA Club World Cup. I mean, I would love to go do that. But do I
Yeah.
see us doing that with the squad that we just left with? I don't know yet because we haven't played a game, and I've seen the games in Spain. They've been playing great, but again, everything comes to head when you go into that Champions League Cup.
No, that's fair. That's fair. Um, what about having like our multiple competitions and things like that? Do you think at this stage the team is in, do you think it'll help the team grow more, or do you think it'll sort of hinder the team with having like so many competitions to compete in?
With having so many competition to compete in, I think we should be all right. Just because we have so many young players that are hungry, that want to hit that field, that want to be in the starting 11. That if they're not playing well, guess what? I know coach is going to take them out and let somebody else go in there and play. So I think it's just going to be the hunger of everybody on that team of wanting to make sure this club plays good.
Okay. Um, this season, where do you realistically see Philly landing in terms of the table? You can say overall or just in the East, whatever.
I would like to see us in playoffs and above NYCFC. That's my only two things I care about. As long as we're better than NYCFC and we're in playoffs, I'm cool. But if it has to be specific, I think that we can be. I would like to say top five, at least in fifth place. I think we can hit somewhere in that mid table of playoffs.
Okay. Um, do you have any worry centering around the team at all going into the season? Because you
What
seem
was
very
that?
positive, which is cool. So basically, what I'm asking is like, are there any worries you may have surrounding the team going into the season? Because your positivity is cool, and I love that actually. Like seeing a fan actually be super hyped for what's to come. And I think you have grounds for that too, being the team that you are, having the run that you had. But yeah,
Yeah, it's one of them things of you got to stay positive with this club because remembering last year selling uh Gazdag was gone, all these players that we left, and we were like, what in the world are we gonna do? And then Ty Brugo got pretty much top goal scorer in US Cup, I think it was. And like you gotta stay positive because sometimes these young kids can they can play. and they're younger than me, and they can play.
Right, right.
It's amazing seeing what half these kids can do. Even with Kevin Sullivan, he can barely drive, and he's playing for an MLS squad. It's insane.
I have such high hopes for that kid, honestly.
Oh my god, I hope he does great.
Yeah, I love what he shows already at this age, and I just can only imagine in 10 years what that kid's gonna be like. So, um, how about this then? Um, what gives you the most optimism about like your team's competitiveness going forward? Like, I guess what sort of thing do you hold on to with your team that's like, yep, I'm confident this team's going to just keep pushing forward. They're going to keep being competitive at the top level. Because sometimes you see, teams they go up and down in the league, especially. So what makes you like super sure your team is going to stay competitive?
Well, same thing. We have the young players in there, but also we have people that have that experience. Andre Blake has been the brick wall all the time for this club. I have confidence in him as long as he stays healthy. But again, Andrew Rick, I have confidence in him. Same thing, Alejandro Bedoya. He's been with this club for years,
Mm.
so I have confidence that we should be good with experience, with the with pretty much the youth of the club. So yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Okay. So this is a question for you to sort of give people outside of the Philly fan base uh some to leave with something. So anyone outside the fan base, what would you say um they should know about like Philly, or what they should look out for, with this team in the upcoming season? Things someone like who knows nothing about your club should know.
we're hungry. We want to win. Um, Even with the fans, we can flip like that. I've seen banners of our owner's name saying "Sell the team." Like it's insane with this club. So pretty much we're there to win. We're there to take names, kick ass, and just take what we can.
Okay, cool, cool. So we're about to wrap this up soon, but I have like my own a couple questions of my own that I was thinking about. So who's your favorite current player on your roster?
Lukic or Indiana Vasilev?
Mhm.
Bro, it's the stash. It's the stash. I wish I could grow a stash like that, bro.
Dude, I
Dude,
cannot grow
just I
facial
was
hair
just
out.
I got the neck beard. It's no better over here, my guy.
That's cool.
I'm
That's
looking like
cool.
Jeb from the Amish. It's bad.
Let me think. What do you like most about your coach? What's your favorite thing about him?
He's willing to give everyone a shot. Like if he sees that you're going hard and he what that you're gonna pause that you're gonna do everything on the field that you can to win. I believe he's gonna put you in. I believe he's gonna actually let you make a difference in the club. We've had people go in there. Hold on. Apologies. Sorry. I'm looking for the
No, no,
player.
you're good.
Marcus Anderson. He went out there and he's in his teens and won a draw for us in the last couple minutes of a game. So,
Mm.
yeah, I think it should be all right.
Have you gotten to go to many MLS games?
I do. So from where I'm at in Delaware, it's only about like 2 hours away, which is not a bad drive for us. I've gone everywhere with like driving with my work, but we go to a couple games. We've stopped so far just because I've bought a house, so we're trying to save money for that instead of going to
Yeah.
games. But we plan to go on at least one this year.
Okay, okay, cool. So for anyone looking for your content and things like that, where can they find you?
Instagram and TikTok at Scoop on the Doop. We have a bunch of fun on there. Same thing in the comments. Everybody has a say in that. Um, yeah, please go follow me.
That's what's up. Well, I think that's all the questions I have. It was cool talking to you. It's cool seeing a passionate fan from another team. I love that. I love it.
Thank you here. I mean, first podcast is scary. I'm a little
Dude,
glad it's over, but it's a little sad that
don't
it's over.
worry. Look, I wear the face mask. All of this is part of my comfort here. So
Hey.
I get it. So yeah, but no, it's fun, and like obviously doing content for a team you're passionate about is a super fun thing to do. So I'll probably be checking out your content too, and I'm glad that
Absolutely.
you got to do this. Also, like we love, you know, collabing with other people and things like that. So if something comes up, things like that, like definitely feel free to like hit us up.
Hey, my
You
phone's
know.
always open over here
Yeah,
as well.
yeah. All right, cool. Well, I think that's it for today. This was our Eastern Conference series. I had Scoop with me. It was fun. It was a good talk. Excited for what Philly can do this upcoming season. But yeah, that's it. On to the next one.
All right, welcome back to the Eastern Conference preview series we've been doing. Today, me and Gabe are here with Anthony with Antics FC. We're just. I'll preface this by saying he is a Cincinnati fan, so don't be too mean to him in the comments or anything. But we're calling a truce at least for the next 20 minutes. and but yeah, so Anthony, how you doing?
Great. How are you? Happy to be here.
Yeah. We were talking beforehand, but like you have your TikTok channel. Um, what made you start wanting to do that?
So I don't know if you guys have heard of Name and Number. It's a soccer focused content creator brand. They kind of partner with content creators and they have them do like different activations and stuff like that. So you'll see them doing like Nike events. They've worked with MLS, pretty much anything that is kind of like on this side of the pond involved with the sport. And they launched their first creator collective. It was about like 10 people, I think. And none of them were from the Midwest. And I was just like, I was surprised about that because I was like, there's between FC Cincinnati, Tom's Crew, Chicago Fire, where I think they're based out of Chicago. I was surprised that they just didn't have anybody. So I was like, why not be somebody else that starts making content or trying to,
Mm-hmm.
put Ohio, put the Midwest on the map and like get some opportunities um, and recognition here. So that's why I started. I already had like another TikTok where I just made like stuff like that. So I just moved. I did that, but like football focused.
Nice. Okay, so let's get right into the Cincinnati content here. Um, so what you guys finished? What, second last year? Is that right? In the East?
Yep.
Was it second? Yeah,
The
second.
Second.
Shield too.
Yeah, she'll too. Yeah. Was that about where you guys were expecting? Did it feel like you should have passed Philadelphia? Did you guys feel second was about right, or was it higher, lower than what you expected?
I would say lower. I definitely expected us to. We definitely sort of won this for the Shield. Just looking at some
Hmm.
of the games that we played, where gave up leads and things like that, just unnecessarily, especially after going out and getting Denke. Um,
Hmm.
or at the time was a record, transfer. Still a great striker. Then obviously we got Evander after Acosta left. Just having them two, we definitely expected more production level out of them, and
Yeah.
that just didn't happen all season. And if it did, easily could have won our second trophy, so that would have been nice. But also with kind of the things that I would say were lacking, get second by uh, just a point too, which kind of bittersweet. Like there's only one point that we lost with the Shield. Um, so it is what it is. Happy that we have achieved that, but definitely should have been better and won it.
Gotcha. Gabe, I'll let you go, and we'll go back and forth.
Yeah, just go back and forth on some
Yeah.
questions. All
Yep.
right. Then going into the 2026 season following a second place finish, how would you describe as the overall mood of FCC right now? How is the fans reacting in this offseason going into what should be improvement every season?
I think this season there's a lot of pressure on Pat Noonan to really deliver um, different look to FC Cincinnati. Um, like I said, there was a really this obvious like lack of production up front, and
Mhm.
I just think like his ability on that offensive side is definitely going to be in question because that's going to be what determines our output this year as well. I think with people seeing that if they can just shut down Evander, they can shut down the team.
Yep.
So if that doesn't get fixed, and just reading from like some of the preseason games that we've had two so far, it's seeming like much of the same old. Hoping Denke or Evander's kind of pop up with a goal. Denke has 2 goals in the preseason. Again, 2 1-1 draws, and it sounds from just what I've read, it's just been the same thing of just giving up a flurry of late chances, and then eventually there's an equalizer. So
Yep.
currently, I would say there's just like high hopes, but kind of like a lot of questions of like are things actually fixed going into the new season.
Yeah, this is kind of something that we always talked about for Pat Noonan, is that he seems to want to rely on a few players and not so much into a depth of a team. And when, you have players like Evander or Acosta who aren't having a great game or like just are kind of getting shut down, he seems to usually keep them on the field. I don't know how you feel about this. I've never really talked about this with a Cincy fan before, but this is just the stuff we've always noticed from when we play you guys when we're watching Cincy.
I also hated. There's a lot of games where Evander is one of those great players where obviously he was in the MVP race most of the season, and he is one of those players where he can pop up and get a goal. He did it towards the late end of the season, won us a game, and like one of the last kicks of the game. But there's some games where he's just not on it. Like it's just very obvious that that moment's not going to come. And we need to have an alternative, and like a game plan where again it's not solely reliant on him producing a piece of magic. Or even if he is maybe having an off game, the system is working around him to kind of cover that as well.
Yeah.
How do you feel about Pat Noonan as a coach? Because it feels to me like he is that kind of guy that gets the team to a certain point but can't actually like pass the last hurdle. That's what it feels like as a Columbus Crew fan.
I get it. I've seen a lot of, like I said, there's obviously a lot of pressure. I definitely have my questions of him as well this season, depending on how it goes, especially this first 6 months. If he is going to try to implement change, which I've read he is trying to implement changes, and he has voiced that he's been disappointed in those draws so far in preseason. I think that's positive. We'll see if that translates into new season. Once we get 10 games in, then I'll start to question his ability. But I think he's a great coach. Obviously, he kept us up in the top 3 teams of the league. Last season we were crowned as like one of the most dominant teams in the over our 3 seasons span, which is obviously thanks to him. We came from 3 spoons, and so to go from 3 spoons now to most dominant team is a big transition. So we'll see. I like him. I'm just hoping he's able to kind of turn that corner. And there's also a lot of other factors as well. I'm an Arsenal fan as well in Europe, so I've been with Arteta for 5 years.
Oh no!
I know what it takes to be
the double whammy,
coach.
double hatred from me then.
Yep.
Okay.
Coach, so.
I just finished up watching Tottenham. I am a big Spurs fan, so that is a double whammy for me.
Gotta get a little gift today.
Yeah. But let's stick with FCC for now then. Let's talk a little bit about what's going on the field. Currently with your 2 preseason draws, would you say that there's any specific areas of the squad that feel a little unsettled or incomplete and you'd be looking for change in while we wrap up the preseason?
I feel like preseason is hard to talk about with the MLS just because we don't have like streams of it. So you're kind of just like reading articles.
Yeah.
I wish we did have streams, but this is how they run the league. Just from reading, like I said, it just feels like a lot of the same. I was kind of hoping. I really want us to ditch the wingback plan. I just really don't like that, or just be more dynamic in how we're deploying it. So I don't want this every game to be back 3 with wingbacks using wingers. And just hoping for the best. I would like to see us move into like a 4-3-3, a 4-2-3-1, whatever it may be. I was hoping that was the case. We went and signed Kyle Smith from Orlando, who seems to be more of a traditional left back. So I was hoping that might have been something where we were going to move to like a back 4. But it doesn't seem like that's the case. Since we don't have a right back, we have Alvis Powell. I'm not upset about re-signing him, but not using him as a starter.
We dug on Alvis Powell all the time.
Yeah, especially in that last series of playoffs that we had against you, Powell was horrid, just to put it bluntly. He was not doing well, and we are not a fan of him.
Yeah.
I like him as a sub. He's a really good substitute.
Mhm.
And when he's a chaotic player, so when the
Hmm.
game is 0-0 or you're kind of just like starting the game, bringing that chaos is when you're trying to like find control, dictate the game. It's not
Yeah.
useful, but when you're up 1-0, 2-0, and the other team's kind of like pushing and like they're kind of like chaotic because they're trying to push to get an equalizer, get back in the game. He's able to like exploit that with his pace, so you can't like push up on him because he will exploit that pace behind you. So he's good for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But starting,
Let's not talk about it.
Not there.
I don't want to see it.
What? So you guys, Ingles is gone, right? And
Yes.
Orishano's gone as well.
Yes.
Have so you said you got a new left back. Do you think they've been replaced well or not, or where are you at with the ins and outs with the off season right now?
Well, I don't know. I think it's to be determined with Paul Smith. So we see how they play with him. I think Oriano, he obviously had an injury, and then he just wasn't producing like we had hoped him to. But again, it's another case of we bought him as a winger and stuck him at left wing back.
Yep.
I just don't think he was being used correctly. I think Ender Nchenike is in the same position where he's a winger and he's a really good player. But we have him at right wing back, which I just don't like. I just don't think that's the best use of his abilities.
Yeah.
We just got Brian Ramirez, who at left winger, and it looks like that's probably gonna be the same thing again, which I just don't want to see. I think it's to be determined. I'll probably have a better answer after like the first couple of games.
Cool. Gabe, you got another one?
Yeah, thinking right now. So we're kind of talking a bit about like on the field right now. Yeah, let's give this question of which player do you think is going to have like the most pressure on the field this season then?
It has to be Evander. Just
Mhm.
his performances in the playoffs. Obviously, again, like I said, we know he's a great player, one of the better players in MLS. He'll most likely be in the MVP race again, but
Mhm.
he went absolutely ghost in the playoffs, and so it's going to be can you reduce the amount of games that you're ghosting in regular season, um, and when we get to the playoffs, which we should be in again, can you show up essentially because he just didn't do that at all
Yeah.
over the
Yeah.
span of 4 games.
Yeah. And that's we noticed that you guys did scrape past us, but then in Inter Miami especially, it just showed completely without Evander there was no control whatsoever
Yeah,
in the attacking third.
that shouldn't have been the case.
Yeah.
Columbus Crew are a great team. You guys are missing
A lot.
several key players.
Yeah.
That game shouldn't have been close. Just on paper, obviously it's always going to be a very like heated game. It's not never going to be an easy game,
Hmm.
but it just been and should have been taken better advantage of. So Evander going ghost, and I think Noonan just pushing well. It just has to be both fixed.
And then we've talked a lot about like the regular season as well, but how do you feel about the other competitions that Cincy will be participating in? Because you guys got Champions Cup, Leagues Cup, and are they an Open Cup, Matt? I'm not sure.
No, I don't think they're playing
Um,
Open Cup. Yeah.
So not Open Cup, so just Leagues Cup, CONCACAF Champions, and then of course the regular season. Or do you think that there's going to be more of a push this season for glory in one of those tournaments, or do you think Cincy's going to do what they kind of have been doing and focus on the main season?
I think the main season. I think I would like to see us push more in Leagues Cup, if anything. I feel like Champions Cup is always hard just because you're just now starting the season. So I'll be
Yeah.
more hopeful for that once the calendar changes. I think that'll make more sense to push for it than for just most teams in MLS.
Yeah,
Um,
MLS kind of gets a little screwed over by that tournament because the Mexican teams just kind of end up more in form towards the end
Yeah.
there.
So, and I think it's obvious that Inter Miami is going to be the biggest team pushing in the tournament this season. So,
Yep.
um, but what I do want to see is what I did like to see is that we essentially scrapped our academy team. Like have restarted, got like, some loans in, got a new coach, new assistant coach over there. I'm hoping that means we're going to try to implement more youth players into the team, and that's what I like to see in those games is like trying new systems, especially in those first 2 games, which is pretty much just like a free hit coming away. Just try some new systems. Try the youth players partnering up.
Yeah.
That's what I like to see from the Champions Cup at least. Then obviously we'll like to compete, but not the biggest loss if we get knocked out of that game.
Yeah.
I mean, this is just a rumor I saw, but I saw some rumors about like Denki to Napoli. Was there anything
Yeah,
to that, or is it just a baseless rumor? Do you know?
I think it's over now. I guess he has some interest at Napoli, a German team, and EPL teams.
Hmm.
So I mean, their window closes tomorrow. So I mean, we'll see.
Oh
But if
yeah.
the
Yeah.
money was right, I say go for it. It makes us look more attractive as a team, or up and coming players. Like, hey, we can get you over to Europe like you want to, and it just looks good for the league as well. So
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So another thing we you had talked about before with kind of the 1-1 draws and preseason and stuff. At least from I think a lot of fans' perspectives across the league, Cincinnati is that kind of team that wins a lot of games 1-0.
Hmm.
And doesn't is that due to the whole like Denki Evander just not uh pushing past one, or does Noonan kind of change the tactics once you guys go up, or why do you think that's the way it is?
I don't even say it's a change of tactics. I think it's just the lack of tactics.
Yeah,
I do
there you
think
go.
it would be more ideal. Like that Key and Vander could definitely be stronger. Um, but it's still just down to not having it. It doesn't seem like we have a game plan like,
Hmm.
going forward. It's kind of just always, hopefully Evander, hopefully Danke can put something out. Hopefully they just kind of make a 1-2 a player or something like that happen, and we score goals. Um, so that's what I think it needs the most work. I complained about it literally all season. Just too many like too many 1-0 games. And it worked. It got us, losing the ship at one point, but it's just not. Obviously, we saw that in the playoffs, especially once we got to Miami.
Hmm.
Evander didn't show up, and I hit 4-0 at home. So definitely something that I like to see a lot more goals this season.
Yeah.
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 No, I was gonna just kind of build off of that then. Like when we've played Cincy, a lot of our games have ended with usually more than just one goal getting scored though.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
going into the next season, how do you feel that what do you think like the Columbus Cincinnati matchup will be like this year? If you've paid any attention to
I
us,
mean,
even you can bring some of that into there, but
I think it'll always just be like a tough game.
mm,
It's just one of those games where there's a lot more passion in the game. So no matter what form you guys in, obviously you guys have some things to figure out. You got a new coach, so we'll see how you guys start like the first season. But I think if you guys are like bottom of the league for some reason, and we're top of the league, that game is going to be one that's like a shootout. So
yeah.
I'm
Well,
looking
that's
forward to
something
it.
I've always said is like the rivalry matches. It doesn't matter what place you're in.
No,
Like
it's
Yeah.
always
yeah,
intense.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, so you said you live in Columbus to us earlier.
Yes.
Um,
I'm
why are you a Cincinnati fan?
from Cincinnati, born and
Okay.
Okay.
raised,
Yeah.
and I went to Ohio State, so I was
Okay.
here 2014, 2019. I was at Ohio State, and then I've worked up here ever since. I actually almost moved back to Cincinnati just back in October, and then I got a job up here that's like 95% remote. So I had to like go to meetings up here, so I couldn't, but I wasn't gonna pass up the remote work.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remote's awesome. Yeah. All right. So where do you see Cincinnati finishing in 2026
Realistically, using like the shield table, I think I'm gonna go somewhere between third and fifth. I
in the
think
East or in the
obviously
full table?
full table.
Gotcha.
Um, Definitely in the playoffs. I think I expect a lot of other teams to get better as well. I think the East is going to be very competitive. Charlotte had a really good season last year. I think they're going to have another good season. Chicago, I'm hoping they continue to step up. Just being uh, building off of that like playoff run they had, or I don't think they had a run, but they just played a lot better than people expected them to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Making the
Um,
playoffs was better than they thought. Yeah.
yeah, I have a feeling that New York Red Bulls might come back. I think it's going to be very competitive with the kind of the teams that were used to being competitive in the East. Just trying to keep up with Miami. I think Miami, unfortunately, will probably off the table again. I
It's
think
it's
will they
kind of
be up
hard to
there?
say no to them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I think LAFC with that Sun and Buanga partnership will have a really good season. So I got
That's what
Gabe,
Miami
Gabe
I've been
loves
saying
LAFC
Sun.
that.
too.
I love Sun, and I've been saying that all year. I'm like, yeah, LAFC is gonna do really well this year, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think they'll be untouchable in the West. The West is a bit different, but we all can agree that the East is just unbelievably competitive right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like there's no team that I would be like is out of playoff contention, except maybe like Montreal. But most other teams are doing a lot of work to try and get up there into the playoffs. So I think it's going to be a very intense year, and a team that you think could get second could maybe end up in like fifth, not fifth, like eighth or ninth or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just because of how many of these teams, like you said, Charlotte, Chicago, Columbus, Cincy, Philly, Miami, it's just going to be crazy.
Yes.
Yeah. I have one more question, and if Gabe, you have anything, you can close it out. But is there any Cincinnati players that you think go under the radar, like nationally? Like a player you think should be talked about more that isn't?
I think Buka.
Oh yeah.
I kind of just one of those players where you're so used to him just like playing well that you don't acknowledge it. Like he's just always good host. He's good for like popping up a goal. He's very just like calm, brings like a calm presence to the game. I really like him. I'm a big fan. I definitely think he deserves more attention.
All right. Yeah. Buka's one that I don't watch a lot of Cincinnati games when we're not playing them, but
Yeah.
he's one that I might be underrating him. Whenever I saw him on the field, I was like, he's fine. I'm not scared of him. But maybe I need to watch more Buka.
I like him like he just kind of like floats around like he um
Mhm.
kind of like I'm not even gonna make that comparison. That would be crazy.
No, go for it. Go for it. I want to hear it.
Kinda like how I would say kind of how Modric was for Real Madrid, like that. He's not like the star player, but he is like a very like core, like important player. Like if he's
Hmm.
missing, the team is gonna like there's gonna be in a hole in the team.
Uh-huh.
Interesting.
And then I'll give just one last question. We've heard your thoughts on how you think the season is going to be. How do you feel the fan base right now is having expectations for Cincy? Do you feel like they're a little realistic, or they might be reaching a little too far?
I think they're realistic. I think just in general, a lot of people are kind of just we want to see like an improvement on the game.
Mhm.
I think obviously everybody's just 29 teams and all their goal is going to be just keeping up with Inter Miami.
Hmm.
So I don't think just with like the moves they're making, people are like, we're gonna still win MLS Cup. Um, I think people are kind of they're not estimating maybe like MLS Cup, but like the Shield. I think people are pretty expecting that Inter Miami is going to take that. The things that they're being allowed to do.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's a good way of
but at
putting it.
least like at least showing up, just having that improvement on goals, beating the teams that we need to be comfortably, um, being more
Yeah.
solid defensively, being more consistent. I think if we do that, we'll have the realistic expectations of being in a good playoff position, and then making a run in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Matt, do you have anything else you want to ask?
No, I think that's it for me. Uh, as a Crew fan, I hope you guys suck this year. But
Yes.
but but yeah. Thanks for coming on. We appreciate it. I'm sure we'll collaborate with some stuff in the future. Um,
Happy to.
yeah.
I actually say,
Yeah. Go ahead.
I'm gonna make a. I'm actually gonna make a video on it closer to the season, but I've actually chosen not. I love a good hate watch for the Columbus Crew. If you guys lose, but I'm actually taking a break from that for the next 3 years.
I
As long
saw
as
you talk about that on TikTok. Yeah.
as long as because I saw that Messi got his deal for 3 years. For the next 3 years, as long as Inter Miami are allowed to do whatever they're doing, hate is there.
Yeah.
So outside of the hell is
That's
real
fine.
week, be a free for all. Outside of
Yep.
that, I would rather see Columbus win next 3 MLS Cups if it meant that Miami doesn't. I'm happy with
All right. I'll take that. Yeah.
that.
Yeah. All right. Well, so if people want to find more of your content, where can they find you?
You can find me on Instagram and TikTok at Antics FC, ANTICS FC. On Instagram, there is an underscore at the end.
Gotcha. Sweet. Well, that will wrap up this episode. On to the next one.
Thanks for watching, guys. Let us know what you thought about this episode in the comments down below. And be sure to leave a like, and if you enjoyed this video, also consider subscribing as we continue to grow this page. And this has been For The Crew with another video.